Season's greetings, suchlings and suchlets. We are here for a brand new episode of Two Balls and a Mic. The recently traveled Chiva comes back with tears in his eyes to greet my tears. Chivas lose in the championship game against Tigres. We'll talk about all that wonderful trip and everything that had to go down there. And, yeah, not good. Locally, San Diego Soccer, brought to you in part by San Diego Punto Futbol. We have San Diego Loyal, who lost against Oakland Roots. Always Roots. We're going to go ahead and get into all of that. Duran Ferry does get a start. We'll go ahead and...
Okay.
San Diego Wave tied in a loss against Portland. They felt like they had it. They felt like it was there with a 1-0. But unfortunately, they tie it at the death. San Diego Wave loses to first place, Portland Thorns. We get credentialed for the biggest tournament yet in Two Balls into my history. So some good, some bad,
Some ugly.
some yeah.
That's a good movie.
The Good, the Bad, and Ugly?
I've never seen it, actually. Have you seen it? I'm
Probably.
not assuming it's a good movie. Where do you want to start, man? I'm still upset.
Speaking of upset, I upset Taylor Korniak during the
What?
post-match conference. She was not happy with my question, I believe.
Wow.
There was
You pulled an Allen on her?
um,
Allen always pisses off Nate Miller,
yeah,
apparently.
so some of that.
Who
Oh,
is
you, want,
calling me from Mexico?
you want to put that on your pocket so it doesn't vibrate all the way through the microphone? I don't know.
Sure.
Just
Sure,
you
sure.
know,
I
we've been
got you.
doing this for 174 weeks in a row.
Oh, okay. I don't...
San Diego's #1 podcast. My name is Tony Sanchez, along with Alejandro El Chiva Villaseñor.
Chiva right here. What'd you ask her? How'd you piss her off?
I'm at a loss for words. I'm just not gonna comment on that one.
You have no idea what I
I
asked
don't
either.
have... I wanted to check it out, and you told me, no, wait for the
Yeah,
live
just
reaction
wait,
in the
just
pod.
wait.
Um,
What do you think I asked her?
I'm hoping it's her poor marking in that corner kick.
Oh, because you blame her for
That she wasn't
not br-
marking
not
anyone.
bringing 3 points
Just
back.
because you're the tallest player doesn't mean just stand in the middle of the box hoping the ball comes your way and you hit her
I
out.
don't think I should speak on that. I'm at a loss for words.
At a loss for words for what? What the heck did you ask her?
Sophia.
Her reaction is like, oh
Sophia's
shit.
like, what?
Wait, can I see what you ask?
You can, as we all will once we get to
Get
San
our
Diego
own-
Wave.
all right.
Talk out of the
Um,
way. Anyway, well, we do have something I need to update on this new soundboard is the breaking news button.
What's the breaking news?
Um,
You have breaking news? I like it.
I mean, kind of. Let me see if I can.
Oh, work your magic.
Two balls and a mic. Breaking news.
That's pretty good.
That works.
That works.
We have been credentialed for the biggest thing that we have been
Yeah.
able to apply for. So with that said, San Diego's #1 soccer podcast, Two Balls and a Mic, brought to you in part by San Diego Punto Futbol. Find everything soccer related on our website. It's still getting built. It's going to be something beautiful. Two Balls and a Mic has officially been credentialed and approved to then
Apply for
credentials for the Gold Cup. So we
Thank you,
are-
CONCACAF.
the passport pictures that we had to submit apparently were sufficient enough
Estamos guapitos.
to this day. Actually, and we were denied today. We'll talk about which one it was yet
Yeah.
because we will speak it into existence. That being the second time that we have been denied credentials. First time, of course, being the football game that was going to be played at Petco Park, UCLA versus somebody. I forget. I think NC State. Anyway, it was going to be a Holiday Bowl, and we got
Maybe
denied.
technically the third time we got
Why?
denied.
Well, no, because we talked about Wave, but they denied our season
long.
credentials.
Yeah, that's true.
I think we spoke it out, and I think it's going to work out with this other
Venture.
thing.
Hopefully. But yeah, it's great, right? We have maybe 2 games that we for sure want to go to. One is the semifinal here in San Diego. That's the one we want to apply for. We can't apply for that one just yet, but we can apply for the one in the
San
Levi
Francisco.
Stadium. And that's
San
going to be a matter if we were willing to fly over there. I think it's cheaper to drive, but it's an 8-hour drive.
Your vehicle is not. I don't.
It's
trust you.
fine. It's going to be fine by
You
then.
went to yell at a guy.
I
at the
did.
dealership.
Well, a bunch of shit turned on, and yeah, I was pissed because they couldn't help me. But other than that, yeah, Gold Cup, man, that's a big step for us, and hopefully the other thing we get to get approved for as well, which I don't know if you want to talk about it yet. Or...
Not yet.
Okay.
We'll talk about it when the time comes. But that's kind of like this little thing. Like I had Pony, Pony Jimenez.
Pony Jimenez.
Vato, se me olvidó su nombre el otro día. And not even in a way of like, I don't know what your name is. I know it's Pony Jimenez.
What's
Ricardo.
his actual name? Ricardo.
But that kind of all melded together. And so I was doing the intro for San Diego Loyal because we do the Twitter Spaces when they're away. And I was like, he's like, it's your mic, your microphone. Like, open up the show. Hey, how's it going? This is Tony Sanchez, blah, 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 along with Pony. And I'm like, se me olvidó what, like, and like on mic, I'm like, honestly, I blanked out, bro. And it's like,
honestly, it makes sense because you always say my name right after. So it kind of makes sense. Like, just in your mind, you're like,
Pony.
it's not Chiva. Oh, shit.
I'm like, it's not Ricardo. Ricardo's not his name because that's Ricardo's name. Like,
It is Ricardo, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I fucking hope so. At this point.
How did that go? I was on a plane, so I couldn't.
In tears.
Yeah.
But yes, unlucky Chiba. It
No,
looked
on
like you
a
had a
plane,
great time though. Did you
It
cry?
was on the flight there.
Did you cry?
I teared up on my walk back out the stadium. But yeah, I guess let's talk about it, right? I mean, first of all, the plane over there, the plane ride sucked. I had a freaking 2 little kids crying in front of me.
Volaris?
Yeah, it was Volaris. The flight was fine.
That's how you fucked up.
No, Volaris is like the best thing they have out there. Like, I don't know. Mexico?
I've never trusted a Mexican airline.
No, Volaris
with my
is
life.
fine. I've never flown in the U.S. actually.
Really?
Yeah, only Volaris.
You know what? I mean, track records in terms of, I think Mexico has less, major airline accidents.
That, shit. But yeah, so the plane, the ride over there sucked.
Yeah, got there
We
safe.
get there
So okay,
Saturday
hold on,
night.
hold on,
Yeah.
time out. For those who don't know, Chivas de Guadalajara, Mexico's #1 soccer team, made by Mexicans, powered by Mexicans. It's our team. They make it into the championship game for La Liga MX. La Liga MX has this funky thing. It's always
First time
been
in
this
6
funky thing.
years.
First time in 6 years that they make it to the final. It's one leg on the middle of the week, second leg on the weekend. If it's not like it's just like
Just one game or anything.
it's
like
like
that.
Champions League except not the final.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
There's an aggregate score.
Um,
First game ended 0-0 on Thursday, so
and
they
so
go to Guadalajara.
You
to
already
the
knew
second game.
before, like the moment they made it to the championship, that you were gonna go.
Oh yeah. I bought the plane tickets the day after they made it to the championship, and I've been to a final for them before when they won the Conca Champions, and it was great. It was an experience, and my dad also wanted to go, and it's a bucket list item for him to just go watch Chivas in a final. Fortunately, they fucking lose the game, and they're up 2-0. But anyways, we get there Saturday night. We go eat. It's already midnight over there. We go eat some tacos, get like
Classic.
quesadilla, like chilling. Go the next day. We wake up. My dad feels like shit. Like, just feels terrible. I mean, I'm just going along with the whole story of it, right?
Yeah.
His blood pressure is super high. He apparently hadn't been taking his medication for like 3-4 months already for his blood pressure, which is not healthy.
No.
The guy smokes almost a pack a day.
Whoa. Hey.
Ah,
All right. Well,
Put him on blast on this
Put him on
podcast.
blast.
Take
Come
care
on.
of yourself, Pops. Damn.
Comments. Go after Chivas dad. Like, take it easy on Chivas
So
today.
we
Toro
take him to
fuerte.
the ER, and we're there for like 2-3 hours before the game starts. And keep in mind, we don't have game tickets yet, and he was stressed about that. And then we found
So
someone
you
that
don't have. You're
we
in
flew over there
Guadalajara
without game tickets.
Okay.
And it was hard to get tickets because the team announced like don't get scammed. There was a lot of scammers out there. They said to avoid buying physical tickets.
So buy them digitally.
Yeah, but and then they just said don't buy resale tickets. Which at the end of the day, people are still gonna do it. We get physical tickets because there were some out there.
Yeah.
They had even posted some themselves. And we looked at it and we compared it to his cuñados like tickets. They look legit and everything. So we took a chance.
Damn.
Uh,
How much did they cost?
game tickets.
Yeah. How much did you pay? Because you said you were going to pay $200 for them.
I paid a lot more.
400.
Around there. Around there, yeah. It was like 450. Yeah, no. And then it was like nosebleeds, but more in the middle. So,
Okay.
I mean, if you go to Stadio Akron, it's a beautiful stadium. And I mean, everywhere you go, like, it's a good view. You can see everything. It's dope. I mean, the atmosphere was great. It was sold out. There were some empty seats, obviously, because resellers were selling it so expensive. I keep getting a call from this number, and it's annoying me. I'm going to go and do not disturb.
Put them on blast now.
No, I don't know who it is, but I hope it's not an emergency.
I hope it's not your grandparents. Have we talked about that here?
Tony's.
I
Oh,
have-
let me finish this real quick.
Okay.
So my dad talks to the doctor. The cardiologist goes in with the Chivas jersey.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
He's like, "Well, your blood pressure's not good. Like, I can't let you go until it goes down."
Did they put this thing under their stomach?
Yeah, they did.
Okay, cool.
So that calmed him down. Blood pressure went down a little bit. It was
little
still
bit.
high. An hour after, the doctor says, like you shouldn't go to the game. And my dad just told him, "Look, doc, if you like want to keep me here, that's fine. But I'm gonna sneak out anyways because I'm going to the fucking game." And the doctor said, "Yeah, I know. I'm trying to see what I can prescribe you to help you enjoy the game." That's how doctors work in TJ.
Yeah.
So they gave him
just
his
get shit in.
medication, everything. We go buy it. He takes the pill that he needed to. Go to the game. He still feels like shit at the game, like midway through the game. At halftime, he's like, "Fuck, I don't feel good." I'm like, "Damn, dude, like, whatever." Like, they start winning 2-0 at half, and everyone's just thinking, "Holy shit, we're gonna be champions. We're gonna tie America for our
Yeah.
13th title."
Yeah.
And just one bad sub from the coach. Early subs to park the bus in a bit. Didn't work out.
So
and
no, hold on. Like, yeah, sure, the game, but like,
it's my dad.
your
okay?
dad is alive, right?
He's alive. Yes. What are you doing? Oh, you have them site muted.
He lives. Like a milagro.
Oh, dude. Yeah, that was crazy.
Imagínate que fuera, the doctor comes, walks in Guadalajara with a Tigres jersey.
That would have been bad. He probably would have just walked out already. But yeah, anyways.
So he was okay.
Yeah, he was okay. The game was, I mean, it was still fun. The atmosphere was great. Just sucks that they ended up losing in extra time after being up 2-0. Por eso dicen, no, el 2-0 es el resultado más engañoso.
It's the scariest.
Yeah. And yeah, I mean, it
Oh,
sucks.
thank you for following me, by the way. Really appreciate that.
You son of a... Like, you blocked me
No, I
on
didn't.
Twitter.
I don't know what you're talking about.
When you block someone on Twitter, it makes you unfollow.
Why would I block you? I would have no
I don't
reason
know
to
why
block
you blocked me.
You're just being a dick at work. You bully me at work.
Oh, sí, güey.
Like-
Okay, anybody that...
Like,
anybody knows who the bully here
This is a
and
plea
that's you.
for help. Chiva has gotten out of control.
Ah,
out of
but yeah,
hand.
the trip
Yes.
was fun in
Ya se
general. I
cree
mean,
muy sácale punta.
it was great just going and spending time with my dad. And yeah, I mean the result didn't end our way, and I saw that tweet. That's
Yeah.
freaking sick.
It's sick. Oh, not only that. So yeah, of course, the tweet was we sent at 2-0. By the way, at 2-0 in the 46th minute, is
man.
the sign language commentator that is going.
I wonder
and it's not
if
a-
they understand it in Martinoli's voice.
Probably, and it has to be hilarious because it says Martinoli, and so I did some in TUDN, hated it because it's just Televisa versus TV Azteca. I always prefer Televisa, TV Azteca.
Yeah.
Jorge Campos was drunk,
Of course.
and I don't know how that man is allowed to hold a microphone. No, but the cool thing about this is that he does one half, y luego second half vino una señora and started doing it. So they get
Ah.
breaks. Like it's not some cruel, unusual punishment.
Okay, that's pretty cool. That's dope. I like the tweet.
Oh no, you okay, boy? Let me.
Yeah.
They got a mute, a cough
I'm
button.
okay,
You just
I'm
let me
okay,
know
I'm
because there's
okay.
people listening. I don't know if you.
Yeah, there's people listening.
I don't know if you've.
But yeah, I mean,
Está que
overall,
deleite.
the trip was worth it. I mean, it was cool to go. I mean, it's not every time you get to go see your team in a final. So, you know, I don't regret it at all. I mean, it's a good time with my dad, besides him not feeling well. But, you know, it was cool. But other than that, like, while I was doing that or traveling over there, you did a thing for San Diego Loyal, a Twitter Spaces. How was that? Bonnie here.
Twitter
Besides forgetting his
Spaces,
name.
I completely forgot his name. I knew it was fine. Like,
We're going to talk about the game when Alan joins us
If
very
and when.
soon. If and when.
Si es que llega.
Valen madre, pero...
But yeah, so that's kind of where we're at. Two balls update.
It's the first Twitter Spaces we do, or you do, where you don't get to celebrate a goal, or you'll go.
Because San Diego, again, we'll get into it, but San Diego Loyal is on a pathway to Suckville, maybe. Yeah. We do have, again, a lot of San Diego things happening. To this day, to this moment, actually, I think that, I mean, we're massive, right? Thank you for everybody who's followed us on Instagram, Twitter, at Two Balls and a Mic, and subscribed on YouTube, because I'm pretty sure to this day, let me just confirm this, we have much more, and I mean many more subscribers than
Yeah.
the official MLS team in San Diego. This is not a plea to go subscribe to them. This is a plea to tell your friends to subscribe to us. On YouTube, we're giving away cool stuff as this does roll out and happen. I really want, and I'm thinking of reaching out to Austin and having him sit in here,
That'd be dope.
get his retirement speech. That's my first question to him. That's my first question to
I
him.
mean, I asked him off record.
No, but this will be on record, like
Yeah.
cameras in his face, like
Let's see what he
ya
says.
le gustó.
That'd be-
Like he
yeah.
likes, he liked the limelight. He's handsome on camera. Like it
He's
just
a good
it's just-
vibe.
it's
Like,
just-
yeah. I mean, it suits him. That type of work line suits him a lot. Not that being a goalkeeper didn't. Of course it does. But, you know, he's hustling out there. He's trying to make it work. He's still trying to be around soccer. That's his passion. And, you know, you got to respect it.
Yeah, San Diego FC is currently hovering over
Haven't-
94 subscribers.
Haven't seen any
Not talking
more
shit.
community events.
No,
or anything
haven't.
like
I mean,
that.
this is what we have, right? So, in talking about obviously like community, this and this and that. If we're even talking about the views on this, not a lot. Like it's not a
You
lot.
would
I
think
don't
they
know what
would start promoting it more, but
There's time. There's 18 months. Still a lot of time to go. So, I was telling somebody that like they were like, oh, like, I do feel that like they haven't used Manny Machado in a way like this and this and that like appropriate. I'm like, it might not be the most conducive thing to do to overexpose your biggest, I don't know, social credit thing, whatever. That it's Manny Machado. That's a baseball player. Like soccer players do not do not mix sometimes, a lot of times with other sports players. And so, you know, there's that rivalry of like, no, soccer's better, baseball's better. Usually, and that's the thing, in the US, there's a lot more choice as far as like, oh, well, this kid plays soccer, and then, you know, that kid also plays football, plays volleyball, is on the track team because he tiene mil pulmones, like whatever, like.
yeah.
But as far as over there, it's just like you're soccer or you're this. But I don't think it's the best move to be like, oh, Manny Machado. Because then the pure-hearted soccer people are going to be like, stop being so proud about a baseball player. Like,
Yeah.
the dude plays baseball. He's just a
You know,
investor.
it's just money.
Investor. So it'll be interesting to see just who they do start rolling out soccer-wise. By the way, Faitelson, welcome San Diego. Welcome MLS. Welcome
Yeah. I saw
people of the English language that have no clue who Faitelson is. So essentially, Skip Bayless of Mexican soccer.
He's a character.
He's a character. He's a legacy player. He's been through TV Azteca. He's been through. He's never been to anything else. But now he's ESPN along with Jose Ramon Fernandez, who essentially is
pretty much started Chronometro together.
Yeah, like it's the Rich Eisen plus. I don't even know.
Like, he's a
Dan
legend. He's a
Patrick
legend when it comes to
of soccer.
Soccer in Latin America, pretty much.
Yeah. So put out that Faitelson dice que
Hugo
Hugo Sanchez
Sanchez
is in this and this and this. We had been talking about this, and we both laughed. Like, oh, wouldn't it be funny? Because like this fool lives here in Coronado.
Yeah,
da, 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 da,
and-
like
An
and then
actual
this dude-
report made.
and then this dude comes out with the tweet, and people lose their shit. Oh my God, Hugo Sanchez, that makes sense. He lives in Coronado. Oh, that's true. He did win bicampeonatos with the
Pumas.
Pumas.
Don't forget, he failed miserably with
La
Mexico.
Yeah. So I
So-
mean, the truth to that, and we have inside information. Our sources through the club also just said, and I think we haven't talked about this on the Twitter timeline, but yeah, that's a bunch of malarkey.
Yeah.
Sources
Oh, yeah, nah,
confirm.
It wouldn't make sense. It wouldn't make sense.
That's just where we're at.
It'd be interesting to see who they do sign eventually,
Get
right?
Piojo
But
away. Get Piojo.
Piojo, that'd be cool. I mean, because
He
allá
likes
de
it.
los
He's-
Cholos,
He's right there.
he is. Steal him away. I mean, there's plenty of time to talk about that and to see what type of moves they do. I would like to see more social interaction. I mean, they did for a week and then haven't heard anything in a week. So maybe next week we'll hear something. Una
Maybe.
semana sí, una semana no, una semana sí.
I mean, talking about soccer in San Diego, right? So things are happening around town. Soccer, MLS, even in its U.S. soccer. By the way, MLS has a new coach who's never coached. Not MLS. The U.S. men's national team has a new coach that's never
so,
coached.
yeah,
In the
great,
Hellas.
great, for
Great job. Great job. Yeah.
Keep at it.
But I bet he's read a lot about soccer,
Probably.
managing like.
Hey,
games in
to
his
be
head.
fair though, that one coach in the French league, that became a coach because he liked playing Football Manager,
I'll give him that.
and he did really good this season. The team kept paying a 20-something thousand fine
Because he didn't have a license.
license by
that's pretty
UEFA,
cool.
but
Um,
the guy was doing good. So
but yeah, so things are happening around town, and MLS has a new MLS Go thing that they're going to start, which is like little academia, not even academia, it's just like little tournaments. San Diego's not a part of that, but these are things that are starting, and you're really starting to see like the people who don't have anything to play and just love playing. You started to see people who have resources and you know are allowed to play and play through college. Like I know somebody who works for a person who lives in La Jolla whose daughters are literally like silver spoon as fuck. So what they'll do is they'll drive to Mission Bay from La Jolla. On the first day, they'll take the picture for the water polo team or something, and then never show up because then they just put that on their college application of like, oh, captain of this, because the parents just pay. Wild. Anyway, there's a cool story coming out here locally. People know her. People know who she is.
she goes out and plays at Barcata a lot.
And schools people. I've seen her out there. So she has always been a supporter of us. So we want to give a shout out to Lizzie Rivas, who formerly worked at San Diego Loyal. Also, I believe for a stint, she's worked through MLS. She's worked for the U.S. Women's
She's always
National
been
Team.
involved in the soccer.
Always
atmosphere.
been and down for it here in, locally in San Diego. So she wants to come back and play professionally. So it's a really cool opportunity that she has now. She's been training. You've been seeing her. So we have, I guess she has a what's that matter?
GoFundMe.
Yes, it's right there.
Yeah, help her out. Journey to professional soccer. You know, it's unfortunate that you have to raise money and you have to pay to play.
Yeah.
But you know, that's the place we live in, and you know what? Give her a shout, help her out, make this dream come true. Anything helps. And you know, it's for a good cause. You know, it's
and here it
promoting
is, right? Like it's she gives a breakdown of everything, the why she's doing it. You know, for the first time in my life, she says, I'm taking a leap of faith and no longer just dreaming about it. I'm going after it. So as long as the body's healthy and you're okay to go for it, do it. So it kind of breaks down as far as like why this amount of money is the goal. There are many expenses needed to fully prepare the body and the mind for the journey. A few costs that can help with are the following. Registration for a semi-pro team is going to cost $600. So if you think about it, whenever you sign up your kid or whatever for a league, you sign them up for this fee. They give you your uniformcito, and it's usually the same price or around that same price, if not more, right?
Yeah.
So that's just one thing. supplements, soccer training therapists, the Cairo, not the city. Quiropráctico? Yeah.
Quiropráctico, yeah.
Coaches, recovery, travel, lodging, media. I mean, if she needs to, advertise herself. I know there's people out there that are great. So, why not go out there and put that on your...
Esteban, do a little recording session with her.
Cool.
That'd be cool.
That'd be pretty cool.
We'll
But yeah,
put you guys in touch.
local person and just overall a really cool individual.
Pillar of the community as well.
Yeah,
Been here since day one too.
There's a lot of
yeah.
day ones.
Help her out. It'd be great. And then what else do we have? Soccer's in action, you put.
Mm-hmm. So San Diego Sockers are
A
actually
lot of soccers.
they're in this tournament, the soccer tournament. You know what that is?
Yeah, you were telling me about it. It's like, is it a 7-on-7 thing? Tournament? Right?
Yeah, so it's
7v7
a
tournament.
7-on-7. The prize to grab is $1 million. Let me see.
That's cool. And it's just up, like anyone can sign up. How much does it cost to sign up? Do you know?
I don't know. I do know that San Diego Sockers have
Pretty much a team.
not
in there?
necessarily the San Diego Sockers, but the players in the San Diego Sockers put together a team. Walter Ayoví is part of the team, so it's not even just like a Sockers.
It's like an MASL
It's like
All-Stars.
an MASL All-Star team, which is really, really cool.
That's super sick.
The Wolves are sending over a team to participate. Jimmy Conrad has a team that is going to. I know Estebato Dempsey is also involved, so
it's gonna be streamed somewhere.
Yeah, so it's going to be on NBC.
Essentially, they're doing like a World Cup type thing, right? It says right there, World Cup style. Yes.
Yes, so World Cup style, 4 games, 4 days of games, and so I do believe it ends on Fridays. Today was the first day, but yeah, no, it's really, really cool what's going on. San Diego, I mean, Boris Parda's playing, Craig Childs is playing, Leonardo G. Oliveira is playing. So I do not want to continue with your cookies. You let me.
Oh, that's messed up. That's sick though. Like, I mean, that just shows how much soccer is growing in general. When people are getting involved here in the States, and $1 million is no joke. I mean, they win that money. That's big money. That's probably more than what they make in the MASL season for sure, like by a lot. Split that evenly between all the players.
So yeah, it's cool because it has U.S. women's internationals.
So it's also co-ed. Like,
Yeah.
okay,
Yeah.
that's sick.
Lori Lindsay. ¿Qué más? Yeah.
That's super sick.
But yeah, so again, the San Diego Soccer's players are involved with this.
¿Y ya empezó esta madre o cuándo empieza?
Ya empezó hoy.
Ah, la madre, ¿ya salieron?
Oh, they're still in it. Watch. They're called Villita.
Walter Ayoví. If you know, you know.
So this is the squad that they have. Jorge Rios, Ayoví. They have from the Soccers, Gio Oliveira, Cesar Cerda, Escoto, Pino, Juan Carlos González, Craig Childs, Gutierrez, Boris Pardo,
Michel
Michel
Cárdenas.
Cárdenas.
Ibrahimovic?
Yup.
Oh, man. It's a kind of like a Kings League type of thing.
Kind of.
So
here
right?
are
But
the
these are,
groups.
I mean,
So you have
Necaxa's on there.
Yeah, dude. You have Dortmund, who sent a team. Wolves, the EPL team, is in the same group as Villita FC. So that's pretty
sick.
cool. Let's see where else. I said Necaxa from the Liga MX. West Ham has a team. Dallas United, sure. Wrexham.
Okay.
Wrexham has a representation. The U.S. women. Luego Conrad and Beasley. So DeMarcus Beasley. DeMarcus.
Nice.
Hashtag, what's this? I don't know. Hashtag team.
Hashtag United. UTD. Charlotte FC has a team on there. That's sick. That's pretty cool. Definitely going to check that out as well since it already started. According to Mr. Tony Sanchez.
Here you go. 27 matches will be aired on Peacock, including our championship match, which will also air on CNBC.
Oh, yeah. That's fucking sick, man. Alan should be joining us soon, right?
He should in a bit. Let's see. Some of the people that are in the chat. Shout out to everybody. I want an MLS scarf. Coming back to it. I mean, we're gonna try to get more stuff and more stuff away. So that's very much included in that. Martinoli is the GOAT. Let's see.
Martinoli's a legend, man. Like just watching games, like selección games specifically.
I watched through a VPN. I think that's a crime now.
Yeah, are we gonna talk about the credential that we didn't get approved of, but we're gonna hope to? No, you don't want to talk about it? Okay,
because that just we're speaking into existence.
It's gonna happen.
He coached in the Belgian league. Says the
Mr.
great
Duffy,
Nick Duffy,
who also participates in Football Manager, who's addicted to Football Manager. Isn't that right, Mr. Duffy?
started out as a youth coach. Oh, I know what it was. Este güey del el LAFC, which I'm just gonna piggyback.
Oh, you never tweeted that.
It's all good. We're still live. Nate. Nate
Miller?
All right. So there was this quote from Tim Tillman. I think Mexican team. Yes.
So he's
Bring context.
He's the new guy, right? That decided to play for the U.S. and everyone's super excited to have him now representing the United States. If I'm not mistaken, I'm sorry, I just don't keep up with the U.S. men's national team because puro Mexico cabrones. But yeah, so everyone's excited that this guy decided to participate and play for the U.S. men's national team. So you were saying his quote.
Yeah, so Tim Tillman, by the way, Esteban Toscano says he has somebody in the Kings League, so that's pretty cool. Not the Kings League, in the soccer tournament. So the quote was, I think Mexican teams really don't play that tactically. It's more or less emotional, very much 1v1s. It's all about fighting, all about the emotions. Of course, they've got the quality up front, but if we play well, I'm sure we can win over there. So essentially he's talking about Leon going over to travel there. Leon, not a powerful team. Not the best team
last season, for sure. And it's just don't have the money pretty much to be able to pick up important pieces. But I mean, yeah, like, they made it to the final and they're playing a really, really good LAFC team. But I mean, you're not playing the best of Mexico right now, unfortunately. But I mean,
they're not sending their best.
But fair enough for that comment. And then someone else quoted it.
Yeah. So, I mean, do you agree with that?
No.
People are saying it's insensitive. People are saying that it's like, what are you doing? Like, it's not okay.
They play tactically for sure. Anyone who's been watching Liga MX knows that it's one of the most important leagues in all of America. That's the reason why they're used to be invited all the time to Copa Libertadores, and then due to personal relationships between CONCACAF and CONMEBOL, they don't get invited anymore. But I think he is wrong. I think it is tactical over there. You do see the plays. You do see the set pieces. Yeah, you see the emotion, and that just shows the passion that lives in that country, which sometimes you don't see here in the U.S. And I think the U.S. is getting there. But to just say that it's not as tactical, I think that's wrong. And I think he does say that just to kind of maybe get in the players' head, settle mind a little bit, just to get an advantage on them. But no, anyone that's seen Liga MX knows how tactical it is and how at the level that it is. Any team can compete with any MLS team over there as well.
Coach Nate Miller for San Diego Loyal disagrees with you. He says that, however, he isn't wrong. Talking about Tim Tillman, it does develop players that with complete ownership of 1v1 moments in big spaces, with a lot of individual responsibility and a competitive edge and ferocity that we are guilty of not always having. So that's just talking about styles in general. Just, you will get that 1v1, I will go and try to destroy you and move past you in whichever way I can, usually speed, usually some sort of trickery. And so not just so robotic.
And I think part of it is because big names in Liga MX, for example, Gignac, who a lot of people know now, is coming to his end of his career already, but he's always in the spotlight for all the goals that he's been scoring this past couple of years, and it's impressive, right? Coming from France and dominating the Liga MX, that I think that's the outside pictures, it's individual players like this that are putting the Liga MX on the map. But if you actually pay attention to everything that the Liga MX has done and the players, the youngsters that come up, and they can do a lot better in developing youth Mexican talent. But the league on its own is still a very top competitive league. There's a reason why there's not the same champion every season.
Mm-hmm.
There's a reason why literally a 7th place team can be champion and compete against a 1st place team. So it is competitive, and yeah, there are those 1v1 moments as there are in soccer all the time. But just completely dismiss pretty much the whole league, like, sorry, Nate Miller.
Yeah.
Focus
I mean,
up on Loyal, man.
Sure. I'm not sure what he's disagreeing with Miller here, but or what he's agreeing with Tillman with. So I wish I could go to training tomorrow so I can ask him, but they have
Not when you let
focus
us
on
know
that.
last minute either.
Yeah, you can't let us know. I'm like, we gotta, move our lunches around, guys.
Yeah, like send it on Monday at least, like a heads up. Shit.
All right. So there was a game on Friday at Snapdragon.
There was a game on Friday.
San Diego Wave.
I was
coming in.
literally gonna go. I was on my way
You
there,
were
and
on
this
your way.
fucking car, my car just.
Hyundai hates you.
I turned it on and it said, check this, check that, check this. And the steering wheel was super stiff. And I was like, I can't get on the fucking freeway like this. I go to Hyundai and they're like, oh, we can't help you, blah, blah, blah. I yelled at him. I told him, if I die, it's on you guys.
You said that.
Yeah, it really did. Like, if something happens and the
Did
car
you
just
die?
dies on me. No, the car somehow came back to life. Like, the next morning, the check engine
I
light
would
was
still
just
take
on.
it. I would still take it.
I'm
Like, the fact that it
planning
stopped
on.
there.
I'm
No,
planning
just
on,
do it.
but then I'll be carless.
Oh man, I had a little 2x4 little piece of paper that I wrote because I went to this game and I took my time. I wrote notes. I wrote the lineups on a piece of paper. I wrote the substitutions. Like, it was really interesting. Damn it.
Go ahead. While Tony finds it, we're going to go over this lineup real quick. We had Kalen Sheridan on goal. The back line has been the same almost every single game. You found it. Kristen McNabb, Naomi Girma, Kylie Real with her 50th NWSL appearance, which was impressive. Westphal, who, again, starts every pretty much a game as well. You still don't have Emily Van Ekman. You have Kalaprico and our girl, Sierra Engie, in the starting lineup. Rachel Hill, Mackenzie Doniak, Alex Morgan, and Jacobson.
Jake the Snake.
Jaden Shaw, Amira Lee as game changers available. Taylor Kornick as well, coming back from an injury, also available as a game changer. And, I mean, the starlet, Barcenas, 15-year-old, available as a game changer as well.
Yeah.
And this game was very back and forth. And you were there live. So tell us, I mean, media-wise, was there a lot of people? Were you unimpressed with the lack of media?
I think we've kind of hit the max on the bubble of people that are there. You know who was there?
Who?
El vato de Televisa, Carlos Yáñez, or not Yáñez, Carlos Melo.
Okay.
A legend in Tijuana and soccer, and like
Carmelo? Tocas?
but no, like I met him once again because I had met him when he interviewed me back when I was like 8 on his show on TJ.
Oh, shit.
I'm like, hey, I was on your show Experiencia Deportiva like back in the day, like this and this and that. Oh yeah, and, like connected with him. It was pretty cool. But yeah, so the first half was pretty much dominated by Portland. Portland, the first team coming in. Second team on the table is Wave. So it was going to be a good matchup.
Yeah, Portland actually dropped to second with this tie. And then Wave dropped to fourth as well with the tie.
Oh well, yeah, because at that time coming into the match. But yeah, so we had interesting just dynamic where Wave were just getting attacked. Miraculously, they did not get scored on. San Diego Wave. Kalen Sheridan played one of her best games once again. It would have been perfect had she gotten that clean sheet. My favorite move of hers was there was a corner at the end that ended up being the goal. But she was going to give the Portland player the ball, but she just threw it behind. She's going to go get it. The boy. But yeah, so essentially, there were just difficulties clearing the lines in the first half for San Diego Wave. They really couldn't get any offense. There is no midfield. Sierra's great. But there's just
that's
no
Van Ekman
midfield.
missing, and you know,
and sources say she's
sources
not coming
have
back.
said, sources
Not
say
coming
the
back anytime
injury
soon.
It's not as good. I mean, you obviously don't promote it. I mean, we would like to know how long she would be out, but they haven't said anything. I think it's like day to day, but haven't heard anything of her being able to come back. But she's a big piece missing in that center midfield. Like, as a 6, I don't think it gets any better than Van Ekman in this league right now. Like, she needs to be wherever she's at all times, and she's just very, very dominant as well. But eventually, like, back and forth action, defense was playing good for San Diego Wave. Portland was also defending very well. The goalkeeper was doing great.
Yeah.
Stopping some shots as well from Alex Morgan.
Bella Bixby is fantastic. And so the Portland has some stars. They have Coffee. They have Dunn. They also have
Smith.
Sinclair. They have Smith, Sophia Smith. I mean, just very, very, very talented. There's a reason why they're at top. But
Defending
yes,
champions, right?
in the first half, I wrote, Wave is surviving, not thriving.
That's good. That was a good ball, too. And then somehow, I mean, I think Casey Stoney just does have the weapons to be able to win every single game. Obviously, you're not going to win every single game. You would love for that to happen.
Yeah.
But I think she's very good, and we don't give her the credit enough that her game changers literally do change the game.
That's exactly what happened. So here, on my little cheat sheet. Yeah, so Jaden Shaw came in. You have Morgan, who moved over to the left side. You throw Korniak in there. You take out Calaprico. You leave Sierra NG in there. They do have a match this Wednesday, tomorrow. So
Yeah, tomorrow.
a lot of rotations, perhaps.
Challenge
but
Cup match.
Korniak comes back, returns home to San Diego, and then as soon as she gets on the field, guess what happens?
Did she get a yellow card?
Yeah. Yeah.
Is that what you asked?
And then she gets fouled here. She fouls there. She's fouling everywhere. She's just being a bull in the china shop, as she usually is in the midfield, wherever you place her. But eventually, it's her presence. It's those game changers. Jaden Shaw is just a different player. Eventually, this is what it happens.
It's a great pass.
Great
a little
stop.
lucky there.
Yeah.
A little lucky. Almost misses. But gets a goal. And Jacobson is just a great player to have as well. Whether she's coming off the bench or whether she's starting, she does impact the game in her own way as well. But what a pass, right? From Jaden Shaw, 18-year-old, coming in as a game changer. And you can see the goalkeeper is like, damn, I almost had it.
Yeah. She really did. But again, really good play. Then, I mean, 3.5 minutes later,
Te confías, no?
you get a little overconfidence, and then you get yourself in a corner situation. 89th minute, 90th minute.
To the middle, head in.
I'm sorry, but that's poor marking. If you
1-1.
look on the replay, you see Korniak just not marking anyone. And I get it. You're the tallest player on the field. That doesn't mean you don't get to just mark someone.
Yeah.
The ball's not always going to go to you.
Yeah.
You when you're defending in the box, especially in this moment, every player must be marking someone. I don't care if you're the tallest player. You don't just stand there and hope that the ball's going to get you so you clear it. You have to mark someone. And that was just poor marking from Korniak. And I don't know if it's because she hasn't gotten enough reps and because of the injury and all that, but to me, that's just terrible marking. And I can't wait to hear what you asked because you pissed her off.
So I didn't piss her off. I was playing that up a little bit. Oh, the boy's on Zoom.
Oh, the boy.
Oh, I'm so sorry, boy. Text them.
Yeah, I'm doing that.
Yeah, we're gonna get Alan in here. But yeah, so essentially, I'll just play the press conference here.
Yeah, go ahead. We thought we were gonna have Alan, but
Yeah.
on Zoom.
Yeah, I mean, I think when we came out second half, it was a lot better. First half was a little rocky start from us, but we definitely turned around, and I'm proud of this team for how hard we fought. And yeah, we fought to the end, but it was just unfortunate at the end.
Yeah, I can just agree with Tay. I think the first half was just a tight game. Both had chances, and I think in the second half we come out good and created some really good chances. And yeah, I wish we would have got the 3 points tonight.
Great game today, obviously, from both of you. But could you speak about what was the difficulty about this Portland team breaking them down, and then talk a little bit about that great great pass that led up to your goal, Sophia?
Yeah, Portland is
What's your
obviously
follow-up?
have been for many years one of the best teams in this league, and I mean I think we showed that we are as good as them today, and that's huge after 1 year in this league. And yeah, if I talk about my goal, I got a really good ball from Jaden, and I saw that I had the opportunity to score. I was thinking to finish on one touch, and she made a save, but I got it back, and I could put it back in the goal. So that was obviously nice to score tonight.
And then I'm like, all right, I have to ask this just because it was so apparent. And Alan just joined the phrase. So I mean, you can. Oh, that's not Alan up there. Where is he?
Alan, you're gonna hear this question along with me because I haven't heard it, and all I know is that Korniak did not like this question from our very own Tony Sanchez. And
Again, I wouldn't say she didn't like it, but Alan was there for the first time at Snapdragon, and you're
we're gonna
hear
get his thoughts as well,
you're-
his experience. But let's hear this. You've been telling me all day, and I've been waiting for this moment. This is why I came today, just to hear this question.
Gee, thanks.
I'm just kidding. Roll the clip.
Taylor, what would you say about the calls that always seem to go against you because of the physicality that you bring, whether you're up in the midfield, a little bit lower? Can you speak about the difficulties of that in your game?
I don't think I should speak on that. I'm at a loss for words. I'm just not gonna comment on that one.
Okay, she did. It's not that she didn't like your question.
I know.
Oh,
I know.
she's just gonna get in trouble if she talks shit about the refs.
I know.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like a Mourinho response, right?
Yeah, if I speak, I get in trouble. You say the best. Say it.
If I speak, I get in trouble. That's not how I do it.
That's not wasn't the best, but
Was
Okay.
Brain
Okay.
Russian all
Yak
of a sudden?
Shamaj.
Alan, we thought we were gonna have you here in person.
My bad. I was waiting
Mr.
for you to walk through that door.
Yeah, Dum Dum over here. That's not very nice. Dum Dum over here
all
said,
good.
"Oh, we're gonna have
It's all
Alan in
good.
person." I said, well, "Okay, cool, dope." I ended up getting back from Guadalajara at literally 7 p.m. yesterday. It was a 3-hour wait at the border. So, luckily, Tony agreed to be nice enough to move the podcast to Tuesday so I can get rest. Had some things
Yeah.
to do when I got back too. So,
I'm glad you're back safely. My condolences on the loss.
you know who didn't lose? San Diego Wave, and it was your first time at the Snapdragon
Thus
at the
True.
Snap. How was that
True, at
experience
the
for you?
snap. It was pretty good. The environment was really nice. I think that venue has a lot of positives for it for watching soccer. I think there are a few drawbacks, like some of the sections are really large, and so there's just a lot of foot traffic that can be distracting to someone who may or may not be as invested in the game as maybe I would be. But I mean, the food choices are pretty good. It's really easy to get in and out of. We took the trolley in. We went a couple stops down and took the trolley in, and that was a pretty fun experience. Really easy to get in and out of. Not surprising. The safe standing area is pretty neat. I wish it was a little bit steeper. I think the bowl could have been. I think maybe for soccer specific, it's a little bit steeper, but I understand why they're building it. And the one thing my wife said was that there needs to be more women's restrooms.
Oh, wow.
'Cause
Oh,
either that or they need to make halftime longer because there was no way to go to the bathroom and make it back before the game started up again. But
that's always a struggle at matches.
yeah, and especially, I mean, they don't have the upper bowl open. And so I would imagine it's even worse when the upper bowl is also full.
Mm-hmm.
But it was nice. I mean, the food lines weren't terribly long, pretty decent choices. The environment was pretty good. It was nice to see, what is it, 18,000 announced.
Yeah.
It
good turnout.
felt very much like there were that many people. And I mean, the vibe's different than a USL match. It's different from an MLS match. It feels very much unique to Wave, and it's exciting to see that fan base really come into its own and have its own identity that feels very different from USL and will probably feel quite different from MLS, even though they play in the same building. And I mean, this is what we talked about, right? There's a soccer team that's going to give you what you want. You just choose which experience you want to have. And you know, it is really cool to hear chants and cheers and stuff that are predominantly female, predominantly young. It is a cool vibe, and it is really cool to see a place where people can watch some of the best soccer in the world, and it's played. You know, this time it happens to be played by female athletes. But I mean, I went because you got to see Sinclair, you get to see Crystal Dunn, you get to see Sophia Smith. Like, these are like World Cup quality. This is like watching Europe in your own backyard.
Yeah.
And so I didn't want to miss that chance to see someone like Sinclair in person. And I wanted to take advantage of that. And it was cool to see her out there playing, as much as I don't like her when she plays for Canada. But it is something that is like, when you want to see the best in the world, you know, that you have the opportunity right now.
And you got to see, I mean, the best in the world, Kaylin Sheridan, right? Like you saw the real deal in her.
And you're
Naomi
seeing her right
Girma.
behind her. So that's great. Kaylin Sheridan is world class, and then I mean, Casey Stoney's also world class with great substitutions.
You know how I asked Korniak about that? I doubled down with Casey.
Oh,
Hopefully it plays, because I asked her the same question, and she answered actually.
If I speak, I get in trouble.
she's not scared of getting fined.
Challenges in coaching a player to, when you see that her getting called for fouls based on her statue, it seems at times.
Well, it's very annoying. She gets fouled. We get fouled in the lead up. She then puts a foot in. I think wins the ball quite clearly, gets called for a foul, and it's frustrating because it happens to her week in, week out, yet she gets no protection at all from anybody. And it's just the inconsistencies, really. If she's going to get called for fouls, then she should get fouls against her and protection. So, yeah, it's just, unfortunately, it's one of those things she's going to have to deal with throughout her career. All we can do is arm her with the right positioning tactically, so that she, gets in the right position defensively. And yeah, it's the same every game. So it's same stuff, different day.
I
Same
love her.
shit, different day.
I love that answer. And I mean, it's very true, right? It's just Korniak, just physically, she's a lot stronger than a lot of the players just because she's so tall, and you don't expect a player that tall to play that offensively. And let's be honest, she pushes all these other smaller players around, and she does get called for a lot of fouls, and she'll get fouled and no calls. So props to Casey Stoney. Shout out to her daughter for playing with your microphone.
Manhandling the microphone and using it as a whatever it is she's using it for.
I mean, I saw this a little bit in USL when there used to be two teams, like the MLS 2 teams, when there was like a 14-year-old kid on the field, and you can imagine someone like a Kyle Vassell goes in, and it just looks like he wallops him, and it's like, all right, we're gonna call a foul, but the kid goes flying into someone like him, and it, like, it's a foul, but it's like a little kid going up against a grown-ass man that you're like, that's not a foul. I think, there is a perception with her that, I mean, she is an imposing force on that pitch. Like, it is someone you take notice of. But I mean, if referees are good, they don't allow that to cloud what they're doing on the pitch. The guy who's refereeing, I've seen him do USL games, so he's kind of in that mix. I think he's done some MLS. I'm not sure, but he's definitely done some USL games. Maybe not my favorite center ref. Did look good in pink though. I do appreciate his outfit choice. But yeah, I think this is something that she's going to have to continue to adjust on, and play in the dark arts a little bit. Right. This is what one of the issues with soccer is some folks like the dark arts, some folks don't, and I think she's going to have to start playing around a little bit with that to figure out how to get those calls, and then how to be maybe a little bit sneakier with how she plays to not put the ref in a position to be like, well, I mean, it's a little unfair, so I guess I'm going to call a foul here. But it's nice to see her on the pitch. I know she's a huge important piece for Wave, and it was cool to get to see her play. And again, I almost bought a Girma kit because I think she's my favorite.
She's amazing. No, she's so cool and such a great player, elite player already.
I would say
1
wait
year.
for next year. I heard maybe next year they'll have a way cooler kit. So, but speaking of, at least they didn't lose.
Speaking of breaking news, right? I guess that was breaking news. We
Yeah.
broke some news earlier last week. Phone call, probably, whatever. At this point,
Did you get a phone call?
At this point, I'm on speed dial for the club.
Did you get a phone call? ¿Te regañaron?
I can
If I
not
speak, I get in
confirm-
trouble.
If I speak, I get in trouble. So it came out that chronologically speaking, there was the
A
announcement on
signing.
Twitter
Mhm.
of a signing of a goalkeeper from LA Galaxy
For a 25 day contract.
days. Okay, let's just say that, Alan, as somebody who's followed sports, mainly soccer,
Mainly USL.
mainly USL, when a goalkeeper gets signed on a team and a roster that has 2 goalkeepers listed in the middle of the season for 25 days, what is a hypothesis that you can maybe muster up and maybe pull out of your behind? Like, I don't know, like what would come to mind? And to you too, like what comes to mind?
So I think the first thing you do is you Google the player that they signed and realize that there are like 0 statistics for this kid. And so then you're like, okay, this is clearly some sort of emergency backup,
Mhm.
which
Mhm.
means
Which means what could
that
this
there's
mean?
some sort of depth issue. And so it's one of the 2 keepers because it's like 1 and I want to say 1A, but it's like 1 and 1B, right?
Mhm.
It's he's a backup keeper. Duran's a backup keeper who can start and be successful. So you have to look at why would you need a 3rd keeper? And so you would assume that there's an availability issue.
And you need someone
And
on the bench.
since
Yep.
Duran's not being called up to a youth national team right now, like one has to assume that there is a depth issue in relationship to someone's not going to be able to be playing relatively soon in the near future, and they're looking to create a backup keeper. And so you would assume one of the 2, Duran or Koke, are unavailable due to some sort of knock or illness.
Yep.
Wow, that's very, very much common sense.
That's very Sherlock Holmes of you. My
Wow.
friend.
That took a lot, huh? Took a lot of research and
Connecting the
knowledge.
dots.
Yeah, so you assume someone's not going to be available to sit on that bench
Yeah.
for the upcoming game or games. You never know. 25 days, there's 2 or 3 games happening those 25 days.
Mhm.
So you have to assume, okay, it's one or the other. You know, and yeah,
Ended
you
up
know,
being
maybe we end up going about it a different way in the future.
No,
But
because here's the thing. That's just what we have. We have this
Mm-hmm.
in our laps. We have confirmation. We have sources. I mean, it's blur. We will make sure that everything is above board and everything is taken care of. How about that? And guess what? Duran gets himself a start.
Oh, no way. It was true. Yeah, this is the starting lineup for this game against Oakland Roots, who historically always beat Loyal.
I until proven otherwise, like I will select at no more than a tie out of any matchup with between San Diego Loyal and the Oakland Roots, because it is not a smart bet.
At this
to-
point, Loyal looks at Oakland and says, "Daddy,
I'm your papi,"
like,
says
I mean,
Roots.
it sounds messed up, but at this point, you kind of have to see it like that. But yeah, this was the starting lineup. You have Duran Ferree, 16-year-old starting, still 16, right? Still
Yeah.
16. You have Elijah Martin, Kyle Adams, Simba getting the start because Stoneman also unavailable for this match.
got
Hopefully,
subbed
it's
off in the first half
of the last game. Yeah, so he's unavailable. Then you have Nick Moon. Blake Bodley comes back in the starting lineup. Huge for the team to be able to have him, although he does make a mistake. We'll talk about it. Colin Martin, Toomey, Alejandro Guido. Collier gets the start after a great winning goal.
Mhm.
And then you have Evan Conway in the starting lineup as well. It's still a solid lineup. But
I mean, you don't have a lot of choices here. I mean, you do, again, because you have Joe Corona on the bench. You have
you have Ronaldo on the bench. You have Camden Riley, who's been starting a lot of the games lately. You have Adrian Perez, who can make an impact. And then, I mean, you have Hackworth, who is not going to get playing time unless you're up 5-0.
hey, he tries.
Backup goalkeeper Alan Solorio. And then you have Chavi, who, got minutes. He's captaining the Loyal Select team.
Got a hat trick.
got a hat trick. Impressive. And I mean, he's a player that I do wish could start seeing more minutes with the first team. But ideally, I didn't get to watch this game. I was on a flight to Guadalajara. But
Well, let me tell you.
yeah, I mean, you did the Spaces.
Well-
Alan, you got to watch this game as well.
Well, let me tell you.
Tell me.
Very early on. I mean, for me, I always thought it was just a matter of time before it happened where Loyal would go down. I have no confidence in Loyal versus Oakland. I just don't. And that is it. No. But yeah, I mean, this game started and very early on, you have this kind of carambola play where I do believe, and I'm right here, can be considered a foul. Te estará cargando like caballito, like he's doing.
I mean,
little
you can.
right?
It gets called.
I've seen this be
sometimes.
called. It's early in the match where it's like, all right, that's a foul. get
Alan's
up, and-
our referee expert. You know, in the Mexican commentary, how they have like the like
Chiquivar.
Chiquivar and stuff, and it's a retired referee just saying, "Oh, that should have been a foul." Alan, that's you for us right now. Do you think this should have been a foul?
This one's hard. Like, who's making this call, right? Like, the center official's probably not making this call because you can consider it shoulder to shoulder, although it's an undercut. Like, I mean, if you press play, like it's clear that there is contact there, but I think you're happy if it goes against your team. I think you can make a claim that it's kind of a 50-50 ball and they're both going for it, which creates contact. I mean, if the Oakland guy falls down, it might have even been a foul called against Loyal, right?
Yeah.
Because he's going into the player. Like, to me, it's a 50-50 ball. He doesn't play it very well. The Oakland guy takes the contact, bounces off, and happens to get the ball to sit right where he wants it to. And then another defensive calamity happens after this where Adams is on the wrong side of the player.
Mm-hmm.
And then Duran maybe doesn't come out as quickly as maybe he should, but I'm not going to fault him for that, right? Like, this is one of those learning moments where I'm not sure he wants to be that aggressive. Maybe he's hoping Matt Martin or Adams gets the ball, but it's just kind of and the Italians would say like a perfect game is 0-0 where no mistakes happen. This was just like 2 mistakes in a row that led to a goal, and Oakland was able to capitalize. It's upsetting. It's not great. But you know, mistakes like these are bound to happen, and it just sucks because it's against Oakland. And now all of a sudden you're like, ugh, here we go again.
Yeah, and you can't really fault. I mean, Tony will give his opinion on this, right? Because he's our goalkeeper expert. But I do fault Kyle Adams on here. Like you said, he was standing on the wrong side of the player. You don't ever let the attacker go behind you. And I think it was just poor marking as well. It was a great ball. You got to give credit where it's due too. It's a great ball, and Kyle Adams just completely misses it. And there is some hesitation from Duran, but at the same time, you're expecting your center back to make the play. And Tony, I don't know if you'll disagree with us, but do you fault partially Duran here or not? Because he does get the little hesitation. And again, learning experience. He's 16. He's going to learn from mistakes like this or goals like this. And I mean, it sucks that it happened in the 6th minute because that just kind of demoralizes you and changes your game plan.
Yeah, so I mean, that's exactly what it is. That the decision to come out is stopped. Like, the one thing that you're taught as a goalkeeper is if you come out, you're gonna come all the way out. Like, you're not gonna stop. It doesn't matter who's in front of you. If it's your guy, if it's the opponent, go get the ball, and that's what you do. The moment that you do hesitate is the moment you're in no man's land and you're in trouble. Like,
for example, right here, like the ball's already through, and he steps up to the edge of the small box, and then he takes another step back.
Yeah. And so by the time that you know that that it's not coming this way, look, man, sometimes you just got to take out a leg or two. And so is that the reckless thing to do? Maybe. But again, you're going to get that experience. And I do think that it was very early. Like, there was pitter pattering from him later on. The first half,
You take out a leg.
it was the first half for Duran. It was a learning experience in a lot of ways, and he learned on the fly. Second half looked much better. Had one of the saves of the week, I feel. But ultimately here it's a miscommunication because that's something that Koke, even though it's a second language, he's now used to it. You yell at your defenders like keep or mine or Mia, whatever you do, and then you just go for it. And so what I notice is that there's not that communication aspect just yet where it needs to be. And again, it's a 16-year-old person who's leading and yelling at 32-year-olds or 30-year-olds or whatever year olds, like literally people twice your age. So that's a matter of confidence where you just have to find your voice. And you know what? You got to tell people like, hey, like it's going to be my ball. Like you have to be able to let Kyle Adams know beforehand, like, hey, this guy's already making the run. Go ahead and you got man on. It's a cavalcade of events that led into Oakland Roots' goal.
Because we've seen him be aggressive before.
Yeah.
Yes, we have.
So it's not like he can't. And it's also kind of a well-placed ball. Where
It's a really good pass. Yeah,
it
100%.
is. It really is.
It's nowhere. If it's a little bit higher, he comes and gets it. But I think he's like, oh, I can't get that. And so then he backs off a little bit. But now you have all of this space. Like if he was coming to get it, maybe he's closer to that ball and makes a save like he does later. But it's a really nice placed ball that he really can't come and get.
Yeah.
And then the guy uses his body to shield the ball from Adams, and then he just puts it in a really nice space, right? Like that could have been a save if it's shot more toward the center. Like tip your cap to the goal scorer. That was a pretty well played, like a sloppy first touch, but he plays the second touch pretty well. But it was a really well placed ball to get in there and to make Free have to retreat a little bit toward his line, and then he was kind of stuck in between two. It seems like he was stuck between coming out and floating back, and just was not in the greatest place to make that save.
And it's kind of like if he goes with this left leg, he maybe could have reached it, but then you run the risk of also fouling in the box, and then in a matter of instance, you never know with this USL refs, you could get a red card, and that just absolutely would destroy the game for sure, and could have been a lot worse. But same thing with Duran, right? He comes out, takes out a leg, gets a penalty call, and then yellow, red card, and just changes everything. Unfortunate, but I mean, you got to bounce back, right? Sometimes it's gonna happen. You're gonna get scored on earlier, and it's not saying Loyal had their fair share of chances too. I mean, right after that, you had Nick Moon with a one-on-one that, in my opinion, he should have maybe scored this. He's seen him score this before. Takes it away. He drives it in. We've seen him in this similar situation. It just doesn't manage to get the cross. Goalkeeper as well.
Really good stop by
how do you pronounce it? Blanchett? Just
Alan.
great performance.
I don't have the pronunciation guide for the Oakland Roots.
Yeah, and this is the guy who basically put Oakland on his back and allowed Oakland to make the playoffs the first year and almost defeats Orange County that season. Quality goalkeeper. He was like their 4th-string goalkeeper at one point and won the job. Like he's a pretty competent keeper. And he just makes a really nice save and gets it and punches it out far enough away that Loyal players can't get to it, right? That's a really smart play.
Yeah. I wouldn't even say punch out, Alan. Like the
Like
resource
shouldered
that
out.
he uses is insane.
just like
Like it's the
lets
the
it hit his
forearm,
arm. Yeah.
because he has his arms here, and then he just has to adjust it like the angle of
He kind of
it
like
to-
lets it roll off, knowing that it's gonna bounce off that way. Because if he just blocks it off,
just like
it's also the risk of just kind of like the goal last week with Conway, where the goalkeeper just spits it out in the middle, blocking it, and it's a rebound, and then you score. That's a great save. The goalkeeper. I mean, I think you and Esteban in the chat could agree. This is a great save.
tip your cap to that one, 100%. And I mean, Mr. Clean has been the nightmare for San Diego Loyal for a while.
At this point, it's just there's those teams where you just know are your kryptonite, and every team has that at all levels. Like you ask me, Man United, who's their kryptonite? It's Sevilla in the Europa League. They're just a nightmare to Manchester United, but that's Oakland Roots for San Diego Loyal
And that's
right
the thing,
now.
Oakland Roots scored it early in the first half, right? And then San Diego Loyal pretty much dominated the rest of it. But
I'm just surprised Clementa
all it
didn't
took.
score.
That's all. Yeah, that's all it took. I mean, they dominated in possession. I mean, had most of the ball. I wouldn't say necessarily dominated, but had a lot of the ball.
That's dominating.
Yeah.
54 to 45.
Yeah,
That's
dominant.
dominating possession.
Dominant, perhaps.
I mean, you had your first shots on target, 5 out of 10, compared to 6 from Oakland Roots, which also speaks on
They were just
Durant's
clinical.
performance.
And that's the thing. They pride on the errors of San Diego Loyal, and that's where I feel where it just needed cleaning up. The ball just didn't go in. Ronaldo Damas on the bench. I know we were talking about it. Do you bench Damas? He's benched here. Is that going to be, because of a health thing or a fitness
I still don't
thing?
think Loyal are using him the way that he's meant to be played. Or if he's just not adjusting to Miller ball, if we call it that. But, I mean, again, this is just such a great performance from the goalkeeper for Oakland, Blanquet, whatever you pronounce it, that you took away what could have been goal of the week as well from Evan Conway with his back heel. Collier, who had a pretty good game. And then you see his futsal skills, and just Conway he had done that with his left instead, or what did it have to be a back heel, guys?
It had to be a back heel. There was no other way for him to do that. Alan, you're a magician on the field.
Yeah, again, this is a really nice stop. There's not a ton of power on it, so it's not like he was making this like huge hand save on this beautiful shot. But this is the difference between him and what happens to Duran later is just a great reaction save and just gets a little bit lucky with where the ball's placed. But Chiva, you said earlier, like Loyal had their chances, and I don't disagree. Like this, if one of those goals go in, I'm pretty confident this ends a 1-1 draw.
Mm-hmm.
But because they're down 1, they're continuing to have to push and push and push. Like Guido has this nice look.
That's a good save.
Yeah, dude. It was a great performance from him. I think, if anything, he's the player of the game for sure. And I would not be surprised if we see him on Team of the Week for the USL this week.
Yeah, there were quite a few really nice moments, and he really kept Oakland in front, right? This wasn't a typical Oakland game where they're giving up a couple or they're scoring in bunches. This was a really hard-fought 1-0 until the very end, and then you're pushing forward, and then you just kind of get caught out. And
the Durant save. Really good save.
That was a really nice save.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like comes out, is confident. Like you can tell, like he was a goldfish, right? Like he didn't let the previous goal get in his head. He comes out, he makes a really nice stop, really good form, gets the body kind of big, that starfish motion and makes a really nice save.
Covering all his angles, like for sure. Great. I mean, that's just an instinct save as a goalkeeper. But then you have this mistake from your defender, bodily just
bottles it.
Exactly. And I mean, that catches everyone off guard. And I don't know, he hesitates here too. And I mean, at this point, I don't blame him either, but you don't hesitate like that. You decide to come out, and if you get chipped, whatever, but I don't know, he kind of like just stops it there and makes it easy for him. But I don't know, like, could he have done more there? At this point, it doesn't really matter. It was pretty much game over.
Don't put your goalkeeper in a 1-on-1 situation is a lesson there, right?
That's true.
Another great, long pass. Blanchett is just everywhere. Then Bodley obviously mishandles that. He should have blasted it out. I think he tried to control it, or one of the two, and then he just Duran gets just caught in no man's land once again, and that's the 2-0. And I mean, deserved, because if you don't take the opportunities that you're given, like Loyal did, then you're gonna have a big old donut. Like you're gonna have a 0 and grant a rival a clean sheet, in division rival, and I mean, it is what it is. And
yeah,
I think the 2-0 is very, very deserved here.
Yeah, I mean, especially with a performance like that from their goalkeeper. But with that, San Diego Loyal still is in the top 4. It's not like you lose this and season's over. We're going down the spiral. San Diego Loyal's no longer a contender anymore. No, they're still in 4th place. They're still in good standing. They still have a 3-goal difference. And, it's going to be a game at a time. But Oakland Roots is coming behind you, a game in hand. 3 points behind you, so they could potentially still pass you. But it doesn't get easier for San Diego Loyal. They have a tough schedule up ahead of them. Alan, I know you grab your head and you're like, yeah, it's gonna be tough this next 3 games.
I mean, you got Sacramento, then you got
San Antonio,
Sacramento, San Antonio.
Which
then
is
you have
stupid.
to travel to Pittsburgh. I would throw that in there with the way Pittsburgh's kind of playing right now. Indy, like I might even throw in that trip to Indy 11. I know Indy 11 isn't the scariest team on that list,
but it's a revenge
particularly
game.
how they're playing at home. But you're traveling on the road again. That's gonna be, you're on the road 3 weeks in a row. It's not, if they end up still in 4th place at the end of this gauntlet of 4 games, I think most fans would take it regardless of what results happen. But on the road against San Antonio is going to be incredibly challenging.
Last season they did win 3-0 against them on the road, and we all thought it would have been a very difficult match. I do think it's still going to be difficult. I remember last season I did say, you know what, San Diego Loyal was going to come out here against San Antonio, dominate, and they did, and I was very lucky because that was a shot in the dark, if I'm being honest. But I don't see them winning this. It's going to be really tough, like you said, Alan. And you throw in the 11 game, that's a revenge game for Jack Blake. So essentially, that's still something to write down on that notepad. But yeah, Alan, you were saying, then you have to face Sacramento, who is the best team in the USL right now.
Yeah, and they've started to give up a couple goals, but for a while they just weren't giving up anything, which is problematic for San Diego. If they can't score goals, they're probably not drawing. They're probably losing that game. The way things have been going. San Antonio, they did win at home 3-0. They have not beaten San Antonio in San Antonio. So that's going to, it's going to be a fun couple weeks of the reason I didn't go to the watch party is I had a feeling things weren't going to go well, and watch parties when your team isn't playing well is not the most fun.
You would have missed the first goal in the first 15 minutes, according to Mr. Duffy.
Yeah. I think this one's going to be, I'm not feeling super great with the injuries right now with San Diego, which I do think is going to have some bearing on how these 3 weeks go. If they can get a couple guys back, then maybe we feel a little bit better. But this is going to be a tough trip to San Antonio. San Antonio has a lot to play for. They're not quite on the same hot pace as Sacramento is, but they are 2nd place, and they do want to show that they can still dominate at home against a quality opponent. And so San Antonio is going to try to do what they can to win. 6 games, 12 points. And so it's going to be a tough one. I'm not sure I see San Diego coming out of this one with a win or a draw. I think on the USL show, I picked San Antonio to win this one.
Oh, no.
I'm just not sure San Diego. I think if they were fully healthy, I think I would feel good. But I'm not sure this is the fully healthy San Diego that we want. And so I'm going to go like a 2-1 loss on the road to San Antonio.
Wow, you have them scoring. I mean, a lot of things, right? You don't know if Stoneman's going to play. You don't know if Cook is back either. Charlie Adams, if he's going to be back either for this game. So, like you said, health-wise, it's not looking good for San Diego Loyal against San Antonio. I don't see them winning or getting any points in this away match either. I think it's going to be ugly. I think they go down like a 3-1, 4-1 maybe. I don't. Hopefully, I'm wrong, but I don't think it's going to be a pretty one for San Diego this weekend.
2-0, another 2-0 loss.
Oof.
Just until proven otherwise with this offense that can create something, then I don't, because it's the Charlie Adams, Evan Conway show this whole season, right? Like that's what it's been.
Mm-hmm.
It's been Adrian Perez and
Collier together. Like those two pairings together work really well. So this last game we didn't really see that. We saw it at the end of the match. Collier's tired, he's bigger, like whatever. But I don't know. I just see Toomey just doing Toomey things, just being regular old Toomey. Like there, we saw a glimpse of the special Toomey here a couple seasons ago. I don't think we've gotten to that level again.
We need more from Damus. I mean, San Diego Loyal needs a lot more from Ronaldo Damus. They need him to start clicking with the team, and yeah, it's gonna be tough because then you face Sacramento at home and on a Friday game. So that's a shorter week, but yeah, on the road against San Antonio, we have some words from Nate Miller as well.
Let's see if this inspires us, guys.
Hard fought.
Yeah, it was a tough game. I think we did a lot of really good things in the game, created a lot of chances. Sometimes, we just need to finish those goals. It helped to get a call too when you're away from home, but that's unlikely. So it was a hard game. They're
I didn't like that.
very tough team, especially here. They give us a lot of problems. I think our guys' approach is good. A mistake in the first half obviously put us behind, but overall I think the performance is okay. Good away from home, but we weren't great in ending their counterattacks, which is something we pride ourselves in. So it's difficult. I felt like we deserved more from the game.
You talk about Duran stepping in for an injury. How was his performance today?
Yeah, we trust Duran. I trust Duran 100%. He's a really good young goalkeeper. I thought he performed well. He's so calm, well beyond his years. So I thought he was solid. He didn't have a ton to do, but in general, he performed well.
Another road game, and you got a win last week, obviously. What's the key to continue the success on the road next week and get after that?
Yeah, look, we had won 2 road games on the bounce, so I think it's hard to win road games in this league and in general. So 2 road wins. This was only our second road loss, and I felt like we were the team pushing the game, making the game. So I don't like the result. I think 75% of the performance I'm okay with, and we move on. And we're in a tough stretch right now. There's no doubt. We need to really perform well right now, pick up as many points as we can, keep improving, which is the most important thing. And then in August, we're going to be home for a long time. So we just need to put ourselves in a position. Our group's in a good place. Obviously, we're not happy. We want to win every game, but we just need to keep going.
You use hope you don't drop from the top 8 until August. I think that would be good for San Diego. If they don't drop from the top 8, again, you want to push for a top 4 to get a home playoff match. But if you stay in the top 8, by the time August rolls around to have all those home games, like Nate Miller's saying, I think they would be in decent standing. But ideally, you want them higher on the table.
Does what Nate say change your score, guys? Maybe 2-1, Chiba? Alan?
No.
Does that inspire any type of
It
confidence?
does not.
Change anything when he
I mean, I don't disagree with really anything he said. I mean, maybe about the getting the calls, but 75% of that game was really good. Yes, there are improvements. Yes, there are things that went well. Yes, you probably should have deserved something out of that game, right? Those are all things that we said in our commentary, and I just don't think that that's gonna directly result in a good result in San Antonio.
Yeah.
I think both of those things can be true. And I think that from a coaching perspective, I think there's a lot to take from this Oakland Roots game for positive, as far as build up, as far as chance creation. I think you put a lot of yourself in a lot of good places to be successful, but San Diego just needs to take that next step and start to actually score those goals again, like we've seen them do in the past. So I don't necessarily disagree with his take on the game. Obviously, he's much more smart. He's smarter than I am. He's much more smartest than I is.
At least in soccer.
But I don't disagree. I think as a coach, as a team, you're going to look at the things that you can build on to be successful. And those building blocks are there. I just don't think they're going to put it together in a week against a really good San Antonio team. Like, it might show up later in the season. It might show up in a week or two. Hopefully it shows up in August, like you were talking about, Chiva. And I do agree with that as well, right? Like, get as many points on the road as you can. But if you're averaging, if you're averaging a point on the road and 3 points at home, more often than not, you're going to be pretty good. And so losing to Oakland, while it's not great, it puts more pressure on the home game against Oakland. But if you get a home win against Oakland, you got to make sure it's at least 2 goals, and then tiebreaker isn't in the question anymore. So it's not like you're putting yourself out of contention right now, but you want to make sure that you're putting yourself in a position where if you go on a good run at home, you're not going from like 10th to 8th. You're going from 8th to 4th or 7th to 2nd. Something like that. Like you want to be. There's a good run coming from Loyal. I feel like a San Diego Padre fan right now. It's coming, guys.
Yeah,
it's
coming, guys.
San Diego Loyal, don't worry. You don't have to face Oakland again until October 7th, the second to last game of the season. So don't you worry. You have a lot of games before you face them again, so it's okay. It's okay.
They'll be fine. You'll be fine by then, right? But yeah, a little bit earlier, Nick was saying that they at the watch party that they had Fox have pretty much baseball coverage for like the first 25 minutes of the game.
It's kind of like they knew, man.
That's wild. That's disgusting. Maybe just like the MLB, give us the TV rights
Should put it on watch ESPN.
I mean,
Plus,
right?
man.
Just I don't know at this point. It's
or you could have just tuned in to the Twitter Spaces to hear
could have
the
tuned
great
in.
Tony Sanchez and Pony Jimenez.
That's his name.
We still haven't been told if we're gonna get to do it again this weekend. We're hoping we get to do it. I'll be available to do it. I don't know if Tony will be available. If Tony's not available, then we might not be able to do it since we need his expertise and key to the studio for access
to the
it.
garage.
But again, Alan, thank you for joining us. And who knows, maybe San Diego surprises everyone and gets a win in San Antonio. That'd be nice.
Secretly, I'm trying to create, was it poster board material or whatever? Like putting up the USL show, me saying that they're not going to win. They're going to put up quotes from the show. And so hopefully it motivates them to prove us wrong.
Hopefully. But yeah, Alan, any other thing you want to throw up? Throw up.
Another couple big wins with the national teams. I believe U20, the women's team won. The men's won today. Sorry, Nick. Diego Luna, like free Diego Luna. Like I literally had to look up where he was playing because he's stuck in Salt Lake. Like he was really good for El Paso Locomotive, and then he went to MLS and they just are not playing him, but he's a really fun player to watch if you haven't been tuning in. I know Wave has a game coming up on Wednesday.
Tomorrow.
Yes.
Tomorrow, yeah. So if you haven't
Challenge
been to the Snap, it gets the Underwood seal of approval. Go check it out if you haven't yet. And yeah.
Perfect, Alan. Always a pleasure to have you for a Two Balls Underwood segment. Appreciate it, Alan. Have a good night. Have a good Tuesday.
Bye.
We'll see you soon, buddy. Bye.
Someone.
Güey, estás bien guapo, güey. ¿Sabías?
I'm gonna report you to HR.
You are HR.
Yeah, well, you bully me at work.
You
You call me names. You throw stuff at me. The Nerf gun just assaults.
have it all written down.
I do. I have it all written down in a little journal.
Si quieres, pásame su número y le marco para explicarle paso a paso. Pinches Chivas, güey.
That's crazy. You went all the way down there.
Pinches Chivas, güey.
You went all the way down there for that.
Ya, güey. ¿Sabes qué? Vámonos ya. Chinga su madre.
Season's greetings to everybody who joined us. Thank you, everybody who jumped on the chat. We will be bringing up new stuff coming in very soon, working with maybe a couple partners. Check out San Diego Futbol, the website. You can find everything on there, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube. Subscribe. If we get to 1,000, we're almost there.
Some special stickers may be coming soon.
Special stickers.
Maybe some glittery ones.
Season's greetings to everybody who joined us. You guys are the best.
Have a good night.